Evening, buddy.
Good evening. Hey, everybody. Good evening out there. Thanks for tuning in again tonight. Episode 51. Can you believe that? Wow. Can't believe
Yeah,
we're
that's
that
a
far.
lot, ain't it?
Just to let everybody know that we are seeing the chats, or I am seeing them, but they are not coming up. And we had this problem the other night. I don't know what's going on. It is a restream thing.
I
And
can see him.
can you? Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
if other people can see them, but if you're chatting, yes, we know you're there. So there's some more
Krampus,
that
good
just
evening.
came in.
Waylon Turnus. Hello, buddy. Hey, Mom. How you doing? We're going to let her roll.
Let
You
her
know that
roll.
one-shot cap. Evening, buddy. Brian Warner, good evening, MVEs. Yeah, dang right, buddy.
Absolutely. There we go.
There you go, Clay. Love
Listen,
that.
I'm not sure why it's not coming in, but that's who knows why.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, why don't we just get rolling right
Yep.
here and let's start out like we do every single episode. The Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And yeah, there you go. I mean, it doesn't get any better than having a Second Amendment. We're seeing that played out each and every day, especially with the things we're seeing in the media today.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Hey, a guy at the post office working today even kind of noticed I had the NRA hoodie on, the guns in the 701 cap, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, I don't know what's going on today. What do you think of that?" And you know what I think. And he kind of grinned and nodded his head. Yeah, he knew what that was about. No
Oh, yeah.
YouTube feed, Dave Fettig said.
Really? That's interesting. Well, I've got, let me go look here. We've got 9 people watching on there right now,
Yeah,
so I don't know what's
that's
going on
live
today.
right now. So I think that's your end, Dave. Sorry, bud. I
I
suggest going to www.gunsandthe701.com and checking
There
that
you go.
out, brother.
There you go. Always works there.
Yeah. Or actually, what you should do is go to Twitter because that's the clearest one.
It is very clear. I
Yeah.
will say that. They got a very
I
clear
don't know if you can
feed.
chat from there, but it's
Well, I don't know.
he's got Clay's number of mine, so
Yeah, if you want, just text Jamie. I got my sound turned off on mine, so.
yeah. All right, Clay. I'll tell you what. Let's hit it off right away, buddy. Let's.
No, I was going to add one more thing. If anybody is watching on Twitter, if you head over there, send them some message. I'd like to see if one comes through on there because I can see when they come through on Facebook and YouTube, and I know who they're from and where they come from, but I have no clue when it comes to Twitter.
Well, you know what, Clay? Before we get into our poll thing, I got to throw a few shout outs here. Evening,
Go
Keith.
for it.
Evening, Keith. So the blind guy. Guess what, Clay? They were up in Garrison installing some blinds, and you know why? Because there's a couple up there heard about them on guess where, buddy? Guns and the 701. He didn't give me their name, but if you're listening up there in Garrison, I appreciate you guys listening. That's awesome. Thanks for the support, Clay, and I love it.
Absolutely. Josie, I just put your chat up there. Well, I'll tell you, we'll address that a little bit. We're going to go and do our poll stuff first. We can slip that in there. I did not catch.
Hold on, Clay. I'm not done giving shout outs yet.
Yep, go for it.
Okay. Yep. So Saturday, went into Mixed Tavern and Zap and ran into a bunch of people, and there had a great time. Jay and Clay, the old Mercer County Prairie Dog Sniper team. Shannon McKay. I think Shannon still owns the state record mule deer for bow kill. He's a big fan. These guys all bought some of our swag from us. Tyson Schwab. Not only he bought a cap, he bought a koozie. And Tyson, at one point, not too long ago, had the state record mule deer with a rifle. I do. He's a slayer. He slays giant mule deer, and he's a big bow hunter too. So appreciate all you guys supporting us up there in Mercer County and buying some gear. Next time I'm up, I'll bring some more. They actually ran me out of some gear. I didn't realize that was going to happen, but it was awesome. So.
And we do got new shirts in, and that's our fault. We've been busy, and so we don't have them done. Yep. But maybe we can fire the sweatshop up tonight and get because Danelle's coming up tomorrow. So I'm going to try to get them done for you tonight. We'll see what happens.
Sounds awesome, man.
Then you at least have a few T-shirts on hand. And we want to thank everybody. Yeah. Anybody who's bought shirts and hats, hey, we appreciate it. It helps keep this baby rocking and rolling. So
and the cool. They actually ran me out of koozies, Clay. I still have the skinnies. One of Serena's friends is in there, the owner of the saddle store, and she wanted some skinnies. Didn't have any, but she got the last two big can coolers. So
all right,
next time I'm up, I'm going to bring those, and hopefully I'm going to get a hold of Waylon's wife there, and we'll get some more of those babies made up in short order. So all right, let's hit.
All right, guys. Well, then I guess first things first, we probably better go to the poll. And here it is. All right. So this was the poll this week on the Guns and 701 Facebook page. If you haven't seen it yet, head over to the Facebook page, and that's where you can see all the polls. Do you set aside time to scout deer for the fall bow and rifle season? So you want to go jump into that right away?
Yeah. So the yes won. It was actually a bigger lead for the yes for a while, and it kind of closed in by today. Yes was at 51% with 28 votes, and I'm definitely in the yes there. If you looked at any of our
I am
shorts that
too.
I've made, and I thoroughly enjoy scouting deer. Watching them, seeing what's there, and a lot of people think it's boring, but I get a heck of a kick out of it. I enjoy it, and just because you see them doesn't even mean that they're going to be there, but it's good to see. But yeah, I'm definitely in the yes on that one, Clayton. How about yourself?
I was a yes on that as well. Yeah, I am definitely a yes person. I try to get out there. Of course, like I said, I scout year round. I'm always out in the place. Of course, haying season, I get to see all the deer. I've been sending you pictures since I started
Yeah,
haying.
yeah,
So
you're finding a lot of sheds there too,
I'll
aren't you?
tell you what, I'm very very optimistic, more than I was, here, say, a month ago. I was telling you how
Yeah,
we just didn't see what I thought we needed to be seeing, and holy cow, am I seeing deer now? And I think all them sheds I found, I bet you I found them $3 yesterday, where they've been hanging at, because there's a pretty good sized one, not a
yeah,
shooter, maybe East River shooter, but not definitely around here. And then the other two matched those other smaller sheds I found. Is like, that just may be them. They're in velvet, so it's hard to say, but they're that size. But
yeah.
I tell you what, they're young deer. I think we got some potential back here again. So I'm pretty tickled pink. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Well, if you saw, I put that one video up. If you saw it, dinks, But I mean, I was
Yeah.
glad I finally seen some, and just because I don't see any between now and the time bow or rifle season. I'm
Right.
not bow hunting this year. I have a rifle tag, and as I said before, if I have a rifle tag, I don't bow hunt. So, by the time rifle season rolls around, a lot of times they'll pop up. I mean, some people in the bar were showing me some stuff, and they were scouting, and man, I saw a couple dandies, and I sure hope they stick around for those guys to get. And hopefully, it turns around for us and we start seeing some. But yeah, I
Yeah.
was telling Clay before the show, my buddy Travis put in a couple of lifts for some guys in their garage in there, and sounds like we might have a good other piece of land to hunt. They're not pretty dang close to our
Yep.
ranch, so that'd be awesome. I'm down with that, man. Hey,
Maybe
I'll shoot a big mule deer wherever.
new
Yeah.
sponsor potential, right?
Yep. Hey, there Mark's son, my buddy Mark Tice, California. He was back up. We took him out shooting at Axon
Hey,
Lamette's
Mark.
place.
Good to see you.
Yep, we got a few shorts on there. Him and his girlfriend Nicole, they were shooting the 50 and the 9mm and all kinds of stuff. They had a great time out at Axe's. We really appreciate the Axe and his wife having a
Absolutely.
hospitality for us out there and doing Axe supplying all the guns and ammo. Man, that was great. They had a great time. So
If you haven't,
check
go to
those
our
vids out.
website. They're posted on the website, gunsand701.com. They
Yep,
got some great videos on there.
yep.
They truly do.
Mostly in
We're
the
missing
short.
tonight. We're missing Dan, missing Marty. We're missing
Yeah.
we're missing Eric. I didn't see Eric on there tonight.
No, well, Marty, he's probably having to help his brother to finish up his hay in there because I know the
Yeah,
blind guy's doing that too. So
I can tell. Oh,
there's
there we
Eric
go.
right there.
Eric right there. I'm back. Got kicked off. Oh, yeah. Commie Tube will do that to a person.
All right, so we'll continue on here, Clay. The no yes was 51% with 28 votes. The no's were 40% with 22 votes. And man, am I mistaken, Clay, when I say I think if you scout, you're more of a serious. If you actually go scout, you're more of a serious hunter. Or am I kind of not reading into that right?
I don't know. I mean,
Because
I
before I
do.
scouted deer, I wasn't as serious about it. Now when I scouted, I'm definitely more of a serious hunter for
I
deer.
was always I was more serious when I was younger than I am now. I don't know if having our own place here and being here all the time, maybe it made me lazier. I know where everything's at. But when,
That helps.
but when I had to hunt public land back in the day, and I did have my grandpa's place, I was working. I didn't have the
Mhm.
chance to get out there and scout. So I didn't. So maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's what part of that is. People can always scout their local area, but if they're traveling any distance, I used to go hunt Wyoming and Colorado quite a bit.
Mhm.
I didn't really have time to scout unless I wanted to make a 400 or 500 mile trip, which I didn't. I depended on people I knew out there and guys that hunted the area. But my scouting consisted of 2 days because I'd get there early, and that was it. So maybe that's
Well,
part of it. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of times too. I mean, if you own the land, like you said, and you're a rancher, if you're a rancher or you're a farmer and you're making hay, I mean, you see a lot of deer, but I don't know. I still get into it heavy, man. I love doing that
The
kind of thing.
I will say I don't do as much hunting, but I get pretty serious as far as what I hunt for now.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm more focused on taking a nice mature deer, and if I can't, then I like to take a doe. I get a gratis tag, so I can choose to take a doe or have that buck.
Hmm.
But I gotta say, that one that's hanging on my wall now, I spotted him. The first time I ever saw him was during haying season, and I just kept an
Yeah.
eye on him.
I tell you what, most of the bucks I ever killed, I never seen before. So scouting may be a waste of time unless you own like 10,000 acres. But like I said, I love looking at deer, even does and fawn. Like right now, I got some of them. Man, them fawns are just cute little buggers to watch jump, and they full of energy and they're jumping around and racing. And you
And I
never
got to
watch
throw
deer
that in.
fawns.
I have seen more fawns in the last week and a half now because you and I had talked about that
Yep.
too, where we haven't seen it. And I'm seeing twins. I've seen a lot of twins.
Yeah.
Very,
Seen a
like I said, I'm
couple.
very optimistic now that we're probably going to have some deer around here again.
Oh, that's
But it's a
awesome.
rebuilding. EHD took out my whitetails. It
Yeah.
truly did. So now they're coming back,
Yeah.
and we're going to just
PhD.
yeah. But we're gonna focus
Yeah.
more on CWD.
So the third option on our poll this week was camera only, which was 7% with 4 votes. Which is, hey, you know what? A lot of people got the digital cameras that goes right to their
Mm-hmm.
phone, Clay. I'm still one of the guys. I enjoy driving up to the cameras with my side by side, getting out, pulling that card out in anticipation of what I'm going to see on that when I get back, and put it on my card reader. And guess what? That camera helped me out this week because the big porcupines are back. And now that all the hay was cut down, they're coming out. Yeah, and I did. We talked about it on Jay's show Monday. What's that?
You nailed one for sure.
Yeah, I got two. I got two big sows, and 4 of them got away from me. But next time, it's not going to happen that way because I'm going to bring my AR with the laser and the light all in one, and yeah, I'm going to finish them off. So,
and if you did not catch in the crosshairs on Monday, it was a pretty good episode. I thought we talked about the 55-pound rabid beaver. So I'll just leave that teaser right there. Go check out the rabid beaver on in the crosshairs on KFYR Plus. And they do have that archive there. You can find it there. We do have it on our website, and you can also get it on the podcast on all our on the platforms on iHeart. But go to iHeart Guns in the 701, and it's right there. And we were just looking. It is on Rumble too. So
awesome.
We do have that stuff uploading automatically to Rumble. So
I would say one more thing too, Clay, to the people who weren't listening Monday. I did one of the porcupines. Actually, I was telling you about my buddy Tyson. His wife teaches Native American studies. She wanted, and so in the Zap bar, he's like, "Hey, you think you're gonna get a porcupine?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll guarantee I'm gonna get you one. Let me know because my wife wants it or something." So I did go drop it off there, and she's gonna use it for teaching Native American kids or somebody about what they do with porcupines. There. Hey, Nicole,
nice to have you on.
Yep, and Nicole's big. She's a big 50. Actually, Clay, real quick. We shot for anything from a 22 up to a 50 out of Dougie's there with Nicole and Mark. And guess what their favorite gun was?
It got to be the 50.
Yeah, by far. I mean, everything else, like they got up to my 223 and they're like, yeah, this is cool. And they're Mark shot the 50 and then Nicole's like, oh, I definitely want to do it. And she shot it and they were both like, yeah,
that was a cool video.
Awesome.
Nicole, your hair was just going slow mo coming back.
Yeah, everybody said that. They're like, man, look at her hair fly back. I'm like, oh, that sucker was blowing stuff around. Yeah, it was. And I
noticed that right away. That was pretty cool. Some other guys noticed a different feature, but you should be proud of that, Nicole. I got some text messages like, who's that? Don't worry, she's married.
Yeah, she don't mind. She takes comment. Nicole's awesome, man. Her and Mark are awesome people. I love hanging out with them.
No, it was some great videos. Looks like they're from California, ladies and gentlemen. So we welcome them out here. They're good conservatives.
Nicole's originally from Miles City, but yeah, she ended up going down to California for work and marriage, and so
hopefully they can retire out here.
Yeah, they want to come up here. They want to get out of there. So yeah, but yeah, they're definitely they're on our team. They're good people. It was awesome having them out, hanging out with them. So
Lynette says that was their favorite video.
Yeah, they had a bunch of good. I actually have some more too. I'm going to work.
I got to put this up. One shot. Is there any golfers tonight? If you guys didn't watch,
No, not yet. I don't know. The blood's in it. They might have smelled that and get the heck out of here.
Jamie did a live on-air hunt of the little gopher, whatever it was, prairie dog,
Flicker tail.
flicker tail. There you go.
Yeah, it was one of them between a 13 striper and a
he-
prairie dog.
He took it out with the ever so popular Red Ryder BB gun and
Pink
did one.
stock.
And
Pink
even
stock.
pink. He is
Yep.
tough enough to shoot.
Nice
pink.
about it, see?
So,
All right, Clay. I'll tell you what, should we do our first commercial here for Laurado, and then we'll come back. And there's an if anybody reads Truth About Guns, there is a reader, follower of Truth About Guns. He's a Democrat, and he thinks Democrats need to become gun owners too.
Oh, yeah.
Some of this reasoning on this is going to probably piss you off a little bit, but Clay and I are going to break it down. We come back from this commercial break here. The 701 is proud to be sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you can't stop by, feel free to give them a call at 701-258-6308. Doug and the guys are ardent Second Amendment supporters and will always shoot straight with service and fair pricing. It's been a long winter with lots of snow, ice, and rough roads, so now's the time to get that alignment checked from the curb shots, potholes, and bumpy snow-covered roads. Summer will be here before you know it, so get that rig scheduled for an AC charge. Make sure and tell the guys at Lowry you heard the sponsored Guns in the 701 and thank them for supporting and promoting our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota, 701-258-6308. Your North Dakota proud, patriotic auto repair service.
Absolutely, guys. And it doesn't get any better than having pro Second Amendment companies on our side, like Lauer Auto and the Blind Guy ND. Sorry.
You bet. And if you go in there and patronize our sponsors, make sure and tell them you heard it on Guns in the 701. Just like one of the people who just did business with the Blind Guy up there in Garrison when they had their blinds put in. That's
Absolutely.
awesome, man. They like hearing it, and Clay and I love hearing it too. So it's great, man. All right, yes. Clayton, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get into this thing that I said, this guy who put his editorial into Truth About Guns. We're going to break this down into 3 parts. I'm going to read one part, and then we're going to stop and kind of break it down what this guy's talking about, and then we're going to kind of go that way with it. So let's get started on this thing, Clay. The reader here, Bill Moore, writes, Democrats need to become gun owners too. Liberals own guns too. Pew Research says it's about 2.5 to 1 ratio, Republican/conservatives owning guns to Democrats/leftists. And here's okay. So here's the first part of it, Clayton. Understanding gun ownership isn't as simple as knowing who does and doesn't own a gun. Some Americans who don't personally own guns live with people who do. I'm a progressive. I hate guns, but I own them. A lot of them. Over 50 guns and rifles. Why?
Ooh.
Republicans. The far-right fascist part of the GOP is slowly taking that party over. When I get yelled at by some jerk in a mud-covered pickup with "Don't tread on me" and Trump flags flying at a stoplight, and they say, "We have all the guns, libtard," I drive a small Honda with a liberal bumper sticker. I think he's right. They do own all the guns, or at least a 2.5 to 1 majority. So let's fix that. Democrats need to own guns too. Yes, it's wrong and stupid, but guns aren't going away in America ever. We progressives just need to accept that. So let's normalize it. Let's get Democratic lawmakers to stop demonizing guns and work with Republicans to create effective, no-nonsense gun laws that do simple things like, oh, Clay, here you go. Regulate them like cars, register them, license their use, and require insurance. So set up municipal gun ranges in every city, paid for by the license fees, and train people how to use and own them responsibly. Teach kids about them. All right, Clay, that's the first half. Let's break that down a little bit here.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So I like how he, right away off the top here, Clay, he says he hates guns, but he owns a lot of them. Like over 50 guns and rifles. Guns and 50, rifles. Yeah. So he's trying to throw out I'm calling BS because he's trying to throw out like he's this big gun. That's his bona fides, right? He's got 50 guns.
Ooh,
I don't care if you own 100 guns, buddy. The more we get into this, the more people are going to see you don't really like them. And I mean, it's painfully obvious.
Well,
some things you said already, Clay. So
it's like anybody else, when they're trying to justify their their engagement. He basically says that he hates guns, but he owns them. So he thinks that by making himself, and he tries to actually verify that with a number of 50, thinking that's a big one, but that would be his thought that that's a big number.
Just
So he's trying to
coincidentally, he's got a nice round number of 50 of them,
a
right?
nice round number of 50. He doesn't go into details. He doesn't go how long he doesn't say how long he's been a gun owner. He doesn't say the types, and it's a very nice round number, isn't it? 50.
Yeah, guns and rifles.
So he is basically projecting onto the people who really don't know. I mean, I don't know who he thinks he's talking to, but he's trying to justify the fact that I know I'm a Democrat, I'm a liberal, I don't like guns, but I've been forced into this, so I have them. I know what I'm doing, and I still want to push you guys into having common sense gun reform. I mean, that's what his whole narrative was.
Man, Clay, you're getting ahead of it. You got it all figured out, man. I like this. I like that, man. That's good stuff. So, so like he says right away, let's fix that. Democrats either goes too. Yes, it's wrong and stupid. How is it wrong? Right?
I don't know.
I think it's stupid if Democrats own guns because all they want to do is freaking ban them. Right?
It's hypocritical.
Very hypocritical. At the peak of it.
And especially if they own ARs. I mean, they hate ARs. That's a weapon of war. Oh, but all the guns are, but we'll go to that later.
Yeah. And then, so he wants to get, let's get Democratic lawmakers to stop demonizing guns and work with Republicans to create effective, no-nonsense gun laws. Like, okay, Clay, we went through them. Regulate them like cars. Right off the bat, Clayton, why is that bull crap?
Well, owning a car isn't a right. Well, I think it is, but it's not actually enshrined in the Constitution. Owning a firearm is enshrined in the 27 words that we start this program out every single Wednesday with, and that's the Second Amendment. So that's all you need to know. That is.
Yeah, but I thought the people meant the National Guard.
Luckily, the Supreme Court has said otherwise and reaffirmed.
Only in the Second Amendment does the people mean the National Guard.
Yeah, only in the Second Amendment.
All right. So then he says, Clay, register them. What's wrong with that?
Again, we don't have to register anything. It's not the government's business. We are able to own guns with no infringement. That's what no infringement means, and that's an infringement. Right. Period.
Okay, so then license their use.
Again, same refer back to the Second Amendment.
So he's trying to compare that to a car, right, Clay? But owning, like you said, owning a car is not a right. I personally think it is. It's not enshrined in the Bill of Rights, but you don't license your rights. Do you got a license to speak, to open your mouth and go to church and to have the freedom of the press come and to assemble? Well, I guess you do have to have a license to assemble in some aspect.
Well, in some of the commie towns, and Bismarck and Mandan are getting
you go to Capitol, you got to do it, right?
I mean, if you want to have a gathering, an assembly, you have the right to assemble. You have to now do it in a quote First Amendment area, which the whole United States is a First Amendment area. And then you have to get their permit or license. It might be free, but you have to get, or you have to apply for it. We saw the same thing with the Man March over in Mandan, and we couldn't actually do it without a permit. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is insane, especially in public areas.
Yeah,
they want to regulate, permit it, and do everything against the First Amendment, infringe upon it. So yeah.
Okay, Clay. Next up, require insurance. So yeah, because I remember that part when you read the Second Amendment right away, the right of the people to keep and bear arms as long as you have insurance to do that.
It was in there,
right? I remember that part in there.
For those of you on the podcast, we're laughing and this is sarcastic. So
I said they always try to compare it to vehicles. It's ridiculous, except when you want to say more people die in car wrecks. Well, then that's apples to oranges. That's a whole different.
Well, now it's they'll compare it to a vehicle, but they mean electric vehicles. The gas ones are out of date.
That thing's blow up and smoke people. All right, let's see. So the last thing, Clayton, then we'll get to some of these comments before we go on with this story. Set up municipal gun ranges in every city, paid for by the license fees, Clay.
Ooh, paid for by the license fees, huh?
So what gets me about that, Clay, before we got to pay for the license fees to buy that, do that, and then build a gun. But we got 10,000 people a month flooding over our border that we can cut freaking Visa cards to and debit cards to for thousands of dollars. KMA, Mr. Bill Moore. Go ahead, Clay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They paid for by our license fees. Well, we've seen how that works when government collects a fee to put forth to something that is part of the use of your item, that being a
Mhm.
gun. How about a
Mhm.
car? Let's go back to cars. That's their favorite thing. I want to go back to that. So they pay a gas tax. If you fill up in South Dakota, the total gas tax is 41 cents. Part of that goes to the feds, part of that goes to the state. And within that, that's supposed to go to what? Upkeep and building of infrastructure, roads.
Mhm.
Then you have the fee. If you license in North or South Dakota, the fees from your license, a portion of that is to go to, again, to the roads and the maintenance and the building of infrastructure, roads. Unfortunately, they're using them for freaking bike paths and walking paths now, which are not part. But we get, as with anything else, they see a pile of money there, got spent
Uh-oh. Still there, Clayton?
there. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
we're
there,
still over
man.
there.
We got something went wrong, it says there in the
All right.
chat. So go for it, buddy.
So we're
The
still
chats
there.
did go down there now, I seen.
South Dakota actually has a wheel tax, $5 per wheel now. And again, that's for supposed to go to your roads and things. So you start looking at cars alone. How do you
Mhm.
think that's going to work with the licensing of guns? By the way, of course, this guy wouldn't know. We already have a tax that's on all firearms, ammunition, outdoor
Yep.
gear in general, and it's under the PR funding. And that goes back to the game and fish departments within the state, which that's a whole nother subject, but it does come back to the state. And that is for the use of building ranges, doing
Oh.
projects, conservation. So I guess he doesn't know about that because we already have that in place.
Yep. And then Clay, teach kids about them. We try to do that, don't we?
Yeah.
Right? Right. We
And
try to teach kids about it, and we want to make it in schools mandatory for safety, just like you got to take stupid crap in gym like golf. And I'm not
uh-huh.
saying if you enjoy golf, good for you, but I couldn't care less about golf, and I had to go in for freaking golf and tennis and all kinds of crap that didn't pertain to real life things I was going to do. But you try to teach them about gun safety, and you can't have guns in
Can't do that.
school and teach kids that they're going to turn out to be a bunch of killers. Nah, it's complete opposite of that, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, we used to do it all the time. It's called the junior rifle program. We had junior rifle teams spread across the United States that did competitions. It was a huge thing. Kids were involved. We had one in Lemon when I was in high school. I'm sure you saw them in your high schools. A lot of people probably were even involved in them. Not only that, we brought our firearm, the people who were in that especially, and they had it in their locker, in their case. No big deal. Wasn't a big deal at all. So, and then not to mention, we were just talking about PR funding, NRA Foundation,
Yep.
which you and I were involved with. Tons of money. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars were raised and put back into them programs for hunter education, 4-H shooting programs, North Dakota's shooting sports programs. I mean, just think about that. Heck, we even funded, if I remember right, we funded the NDSU shooting team and got it
Oh yeah,
started
yeah, we did.
up there. I don't know if it's still
Yep,
functioning. I hope it is, but I know that we funded that with NRA Foundation money raised from Friends of NRA, and we were
yep.
proud to do that.
I
So,
mean, it was a good chunk too, as I remember. It wasn't
yeah.
peanuts.
So I mean, you look at this, and this guy evidently he's unaware of that too. Again, he's spouting out things that he has heard and regurgitated, and
Yeah,
probably
but he
has
owns
no
50
knowledge.
guns, man.
Yeah, so that gives him creds, right?
Yeah. So you still got the chats going,
I
Clay, or
do.
did you
Hey,
get sniped?
JR,
There we
right
go.
there. Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Oh, hey, he
Yeah.
just talked about. He says I
Yep.
used to have a rifle team, and I think JR, if it's still going, we started that up when it's still the NRA rep. So I hope it's still going, but I couldn't tell you if it is or not.
Mm-hmm.
Have to
Mm-hmm.
follow up on that. Oh, here we go. David chimed in. If guys, if them are coming in slow, it's because our chat is coming
Yeah,
in
I
slow.
can't see him anymore, Clay.
Says NDSU is still rocking. So great that we just got that answered. So that team that we started, you, me, and everybody within the Friends of NRA program in North
Yep.
Dakota, we raised that money. We had our state meeting and we funded that to get it started. And then we continued to fund it for several years after that to make sure it stayed on its feet. So I'm glad to hear that it's still going because if I remember right, the college itself, the university wasn't really giving them much money.
All right. Well, we've got a quick message here from the blind guy. He's running that hay baler, man. He maybe said he can catch the last part of the show. Appreciate that. Wyatt.
Yep. No, that's a. Oh, here
All
we
right.
go.
Yeah.
Doug, cars come standard with suppressors. Firearms should also. He's talking about
Yeah,
mufflers. There you
absolutely.
go. I agree.
Well, it's actually illegal to put straight pipes on the car.
Is it
On
really?
street, yeah, you
Huh.
can't. Yeah, you're on straight headers without a muffler. Yeah, absolutely, Clay. That's
Hmm.
I couldn't. I don't care, but I like the way they sound without them. But
I may
guns, I
have
like mufflers on.
I may have a couple vehicles with straight pipes. I may
Oh,
or may not have one. Of course, I may or may not have other things that are deemed illegal
yeah,
too. David says NDSU has a pistol team for sure. He knows that, so good to have.
good.
Good to hear that. Yep, they have a pretty good team. So yeah, everyone's chiming in on that. So I'm glad to
Pistols
hear
can't
that.
hurt nobody, can they, Clay? Just ARs.
I'm just AR. Yeah, JR Havens is
What's up, buddy? Lee's talking to Wyatt.
okay.
All right, Clay. Let's go on to the next paragraph here.
Oh,
We can get.
quickly though, hey
Yeah,
JR,
yeah.
Jay has accepted and Todd has accepted, so we are going to
Ooh,
have a KFYR challenge there between
yep.
KFYR
Clay's
TV and
making the
Plus.
shirts. What we're gonna need is a cameraman instead of
Yeah,
my little handheld Canon
and I think
camera.
JR knows a guy. I think he
I
knows a
think he
guy.
does. I think he even knows a guy who knows how to run that real good.
So I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna have some fun with that, and I'm pretty much done hand. So
Yeah,
hopefully we can come up with a date and do
and
this.
they both think they can kick each other's ass doing it too. So
And then
that's
I'm
what
going
I
to go
like.
back to Brian.
Yeah, go
Brian's
for it.
comment here. He said, since this airhead is comparing to vehicles, why are we required to have uninsured motorist insurance written into our insurance policy? That law works like a
Mm,
charm, and perfect.
mm.
Great example. So yeah, if we're going to have insurance now, we're going to have uninsured
Yeah,
gun owner
uninsured
insurance.
firearm owners insurance.
Because I'm pretty sure every criminal is going to run out there and get their insurance,
Oh,
right?
guarantee you. I
Yeah.
guarantee you, Mohammed there in Barakat and
Oh,
Fargo would have had it, right?
yeah. Oh, you know that guy would have had it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Clay, let's go on here. So
Yes.
he continues. And he continues. I took a concealed carry class in my state. This guy lives in Colorado. That's all that's required to get a concealed carry license in Colorado. It was 3 hours of PowerPoint slides by somebody's got it in quotes, NRA certified guy who owned a quote tactical training company who spent half that time pitching his own class for us to take it later. I paid $65 for that required gun class. He's got his quotes in there. Dude, you're the one who wants everybody to get freaking trained.
Yeah.
He's pissed about it because he's got it in like mocking quotes.
Wants all the training, but
Yeah.
it was done wrong, according
Yeah,
to him.
I paid could have got it free in school. I paid $65 for that required gun class, sent the certificate, quote, he signed to our local sheriff's office, paid the state fee of $150, and bam, I got a license. So he's paying over $200 to exercise his constitutional right there, Clayton.
Yeah, there's
I'm
a
not done
multitude
yet,
of
but
problems right there.
Hold that thought.
Yep.
And here's what he goes on with the next one. Oh God, this guy. Do I know how to conceal carry now? FK, no. You know what I said there, right? It's a joke. We need to fix it and make sure people with guns truly understand the responsibility of owning them. There were 4 mass shootings on Monday in the U.S. 4.
Oh,
So this is back in July, the Independence Day weekend. And yeah, there were. And guess what? By a bunch of freaking gangbangers, dude, who couldn't care less about what you're talking about. And those
Yeah.
are just the ones I actually heard about. That said, guns aren't going away in this country, so let's embrace them. Seriously, everyone, including Democrats, needs to embrace them to normalize this for all of us. We got one more after this, Clay, but let's go through this one.
well, like I pointed out, so $200, or like you said, to exercise
over
his
200, over 200.
constitutional right.
What if you had to do that, Clay, to vote or have free speech, or if you want to go to your church?
Well, we used to have polling taxes, and guess what they did? They did away with them because they were unfair.
Well, they were, yeah.
And you had a right to vote, and so and I don't really agree with I don't agree with polling taxes whatsoever. And then we got rid of them. We got rid of the poll tax. People don't remember that. Open up a history book, or I guess it'd be a digital.
Well, you know what they were
today.
made for, Clay? Actually, the poll taxes were made to keep the blacks from voting.
That's what they were intended for. Absolutely.
But now it's just fine and dandy to do it for guns. Who cares, right?
Yeah, and that's what'll happen if you have to pay for everything. It will drive gun ownership down, which I'm sure he would be happy with.
Yeah.
I when it comes to concealed carry permits, I've never been in support of them, but I did support when we were trying to pass them because we had nothing. You had many states, most of the states didn't allow a concealed carry.
Yeah.
It was funny. A lot of states had open carry, but the concealed didn't. So we took that route, and then that led to constitutional carry. Now over half the states are constitutional carry. We took the avenue that the antis do. one little step at a time, and that's how we accomplished it. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't believe in them. I think they're a hindrance. I don't think you need to license
Yeah.
your fundamental right.
So yeah, Clay. So then he says, "Do I know how to conceal carry now?" F bomb. No, it's a
Mm.
joke.
So whose fault is that?
Yeah, that's yeah. We'll go to okay. So the guy, Colorado made you take a certified class to get your concealed carry, right? They
Yes.
just informed me of that, which this NRA certified guy did,
Mhm.
which he mocked, and then he said he also owned a tactical training company that the guy pitched right because you don't know
Right.
crap about carrying a gun, and that's why he wanted you to take the tactical training course.
Yeah.
Dip
So, I
what?
mean, basically, what's he implying? That he thinks that the government or whoever should be teaching them how to use these guns? Now, I can't imagine he'd want the government teaching you. I mean, the government's supposed to ban them.
Well, obviously he doesn't, because if you and me brought up teaching kids how to operate
Right.
guns safely in school, they'd have a conniption fit and say no.
I was hoping that's where you'd go with that. And
Not
then
only
he,
would they have done that. They
and I
do
mean,
that.
and
They
like I
do
said,
that.
like you've said, we've said, I've said, we used to have that in our schools.
Mhm.
Luckily, we have archery in the schools, so we've got our foot in the door there. We got junior ROTC programs now being picked up by schools, so we're maybe
Mhm.
getting back to that. People, I think, are coming and swinging back to that, but this will be a slow process. So
Mhm.
you don't know how to carry? That's your fault.
Yep.
That's the fault
Read,
of the
read
guy who
Lynette's
wrote this.
comment there, Clay. I like that.
What's that?
Read Lynette's comment you got up there.
Let me find it here.
4 mass shootings? Question
Oh,
mark.
here,
How many
sorry.
were NRA members?
Huh.
Were involved in those? Zero, Lynette.
Zero, guarantee it, zero. I don't even know which one. I mean, I know of ones that were happening, but zero.
Yeah.
I would bet money on that.
Oh, he's gonna. Hey, the NRA's coming up here in the next segment, NRA. So hang in there, Clay. He's
That's
gonna.
horrible,
Hey,
NRA.
the leftists, man. I know some right wingers can't stand the NRA, but man, I tell you what, it's still the beast. They hate the
Still the
NRA.
gorilla in the room, man.
Oh man. All right, Clay. So so we're all right. You got any more to add to that part, or should we
No,
should
we
we
can move on.
continue
We
on
can
here?
move on.
Okay. Okay. Well, he says truly understand the responsibility. Only them. I think owning them as in, I think we kind of covered that. Where in
Mhm.
reality, Democrats don't want you to know how to freaking. So, all right.
Right.
So the last part here. I vote straight Democrat every election and will continue to do so. If Democrat lawmakers stop going after guns, many of those single issue 2A voters who agree with Democrat principles would vote Democrat. If only the party stopped being so anti-gun, like kind of like you're talking about before here, buddy. So my message
Yeah.
to Democrats in office is this: embrace guns and make it easy and safe to own them. And you'll never, man, it's hard for me not to interject there. And you'll never ever lose another election. 5 to 10% of single issue 2A voters will switch sides, and that's all you need to stay in power. American society is healthier and richer when Democrats who want to run governments are in charge versus Republicans who want to dismantle government. As for the radical right, NRA, and other groups, including all you gun manufacturers and support companies out there, like Magpul, that's what he's referencing. How do you make stuff
Oh,
for
yeah.
guns? Stop being so radical and support this idea. Why? Because it means more business for all of you, more customers who want nothing to do with your products now. Stop using, oh boy, fear and toxic masculinity to sell products and just make it, quote, normal to have weapons everywhere. It is normal, dude.
So
Wasn't it?
before
Yep.
before we break that down, I just got to play this.
Nasty person.
That's what that guy is. He's a nasty person. And you know what he wants to do? This is what he'd really like to do. He wants to burn. He wants to burn the Constitution. Plain and simple.
Well, one more sentence here, Clay, and then we're going to get back because this last one was the best, actually. We're going to hit. Wasn't it Heinlein who said an armed society is a polite society? I don't know if that's true, but I know we'll find out if we take this approach. Oh, man, Clay.
Oh, there's so much in there.
Wow. So he goes and thinks single issue 2A voters who are going to agree they're going to flip over 5 to 10% of single issue 2A voters they're going to flip over to Democrats, he thinks. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that he's a hypocrite yet again, which seems to be his running
Big time.
tally here. I mean, he right away calls out single issue voters, that being Second Amendment protection, but yet says, I vote straight Democrat. Well, then you're a
Yeah.
single issue voter because the Democrats have one issue. It's to destroy the foundation of this country. That is their issue.
Like you just showed with the Constitution they're burning.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
want to burn it to the ground, and
Yeah.
we're seeing it every day. And it's like I keep saying. I mean, how many times I said that it's the Democrat National Communist Party now. That's what DNC is. Democrat National Communist Party, because that's the communists have taken over that party. So if you're voting Democrat, you're voting for communism, as far as I'm concerned. So that's my opinion.
Okay, Clay. So what I get a kick. So he says, so my message to Democrats in office is embrace guns and make it easier and safer to own them. We just read what he wants to make it so you can own guns. That's not easier, Clayton.
That's hard.
That's not easier what he said. Remember? Regulate them like cars, register them, license their use, require insurance, do a whole bunch of other crap.
That makes it
That's
easier,
not making
don't
it easier. That's making it harder.
Nah, that makes it. That's common sense.
That's delaying your right. And if remind me who said this, Clay. A right delayed is a right denied.
You MLK,
baby.
Oh,
MLK.
Right.
Right delayed is right denied. You know,
Martin Luther King.
Talking about voting rights, and I agree with MLK on that 100%. So
Absolutely.
This guy's, like you said earlier, he's contradicting himself. That was a huge contradiction. And this, Clay, American society is healthier and richer when Democrats are in charge. How's everything going now with that richer? Dude, I'm making less money now than before. So, you know why? Because your freaking inflation is high. Biden come out and say inflation is going down all he wants. So I just went to the Sam's Club the other day.
Not going down.
I spent $220. I got about 2/3 or 3/4 of what I got when probably 2/3, maybe. When Trump was in there. It pisses me off. I fill up my little Nissan pickup and it's $60. That's not richer.
That's not richer. That used to cost $20-$30 maybe when just a 3 short years ago, really.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put up David's comment.
Healthier. Yeah, go
David Fetting, their 1760 sports. The CC class, concealed carry, is just for judges to say ignorance of the law is not an acceptation of the law. So he's right. They use that against you if you don't even have one, or if you do have one, they'll say, well, then you should have known because you didn't read all the rules. Concealed carry, like I said, it was the stepping stone for us to get the constitutional carry, which we now have, and there's room for improvement in North Dakota. There's no doubt about that, and we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right, Clay. So we're going to go on to one of our favorite things to talk about right here. That was for the radical right NRA and other gun groups, including all you gun manufacturers. Stop being so radical and support this agenda. And then because he claims if they do support his agenda, you're going to make more money because I got news for you, buddy. You Democrats aren't ever going to follow this because they hate guns. And I'm pretty sure you do, and you're a liar. And so they're not going to make any more money. But supporting an agenda and a political party, Clay, that is constantly trying to take away your Second Amendment rights and to own guns. What are they trying to ban? Ghost guns. They're trying to ban pistol braces, magazines.
Everything. They want them all. Remember, Mr. and Mrs. America, hand them in.
Yeah, Die-Fi. Well, yeah, we're gonna have a good story about one of the same scumbags on Friday. I mentioned, but yeah, this guy's logic is so twisted and backwards. It's unbelievable. Hey, support. So and then
speaking of that, when you said Friday, guys, tune in on Friday on 5:50 a.m. radio because we are going to be on Mitchell in the morning, 7:40 Mountain, 8:40 Central in the morning because we are going to have a deal on there. You're going to want to listen to because then you need to call Armstrong. If you're in North Dakota, you need to call Armstrong, and then if you're in South Dakota, you need to call Alfred E. Newman, otherwise known as Dusty Johnson. You need to call them two morons and tell them to vote against the national defense bill that they're trying to push. If they get this added. So listen in, guys. Listen in on the morning because it's going to be important. This is real.
Yeah. And the Democrats are going to put that in the bill. We're going to talk
absolutely. I think it'll be kicked out, but it don't matter. We need to make sure that I can tell you right now. Both them reps, I wouldn't trust them. Neither one of them. They do pretty good, but they're not 100%.
Right. All right. Let's not get ahead of our skis here and give away the. All right. So the last thing, Clay, stop using fear and toxic masculinity to sell products and just make it normal to have weapons everywhere. Dude, your party, you can have weapons everywhere according to Bruin, but your party is making everywhere a sensitive area. And it's not fear and toxic. Look at gun ads, Clay. Is there toxic masculinity in that?
No, and it's impossible for there to be because there's no such thing. I hate that term. Of course, terminology means everything. How many times have you heard me say that?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure it does. I got a message from our brother, Leon Francis here at 2A701. Thanks for tuning in, brother. It's fun
Yes,
hanging
sir.
out with you last Friday. So, yeah, Clay, so you got anything to finish this off? And then,
Well, I got to ask Leon, how much did that ticket cost? That's all I want to know from him.
yeah, Leon is a bad boy on the interstate. He didn't.
So, yeah, I'll give some closing remarks
go
here.
for it, brother.
Something I noticed right away when I first read this article and he sent it to me. He starts, I mean, you can tell where the guy is. They do this all the time. It's kind of like saying, dot, 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 whatever, pick your statement, but. And then that means forget everything I just said and then listen to this because this is what I want you to believe, but here's what I believe. Well, he does this by first off calling us the far right fascist part of the GOP. Well, we'll leave that. I think everybody.
So what's the far left, Clay? They're just normal, right? They're
That's
normal
just
people.
normal, everyday people just trying to make the world better.
Yeah, not sure what your sexuality is, wigging out and going into schools and public. You guys are awesome. You're perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal. And then, of course, he hits on the NRA, and that's always that's perfect way to attack it.
They're compromisers. I'm told, Clay. You should love the NRA.
Yeah, exactly. They should. They're
I'm
giving
joking.
up everybody's rights.
Don't
you know that? Yeah. I know. He also goes on there and talks about his required. He puts his quotes in his certificate, basically saying it was too easy to get it. And that's what he's saying. That's always a tactic. And then, of course, he brings up fear and toxic masculinity. You got to remember, when these people don't like men, real men, or rights, or those of us who stand up for them, right? We're toxic. We're the people they hate. So they hate guns, they hate us, and they think they can get us to flip and vote in the Democrat Party.
This guy's making total sense, man. I think I'm with Joe is awesome.
Now they're also delusional because guess what? They are communists. And I don't care.
They're not just now delusional, Clay. They've been delusional.
They've been delusional, and they're delusional communists, and what they want is power. They want power, and they want power over you, and they hate and despise people like us because we won't submit. And they do know that people like us, even if we know we're going to lose against just like our founders did against the Brits, we're going to fight. We're going to fight to the death, and we will take some with us, and they hate that about us. That's why they haven't done it yet. They haven't went Paul Bohr yet.
Yep. Say when. Do it before I'm too old. You got about 10 years. You guys started.
You still got me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Okay, it was breaking up here.
Yeah, I saw it break up a little bit, Clayton. All right, Clayton, let's do our double, and we're going to come back, and we're going to hit on our 2A bullet points, buddy. That was fun, man. I enjoyed the hell out of breaking that down.
Yep. Leon, he says, better than a DUI. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, buddy. Anything's better than that crap.
One more before we go to break to finish.
Yeah.
Only toxic masculinity is when you put it in a Amen. Amen.
All right, here we go with the double. Let's do this. The 701 is proud to be sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you can't stop by, feel free to give them a call at 701-258-6308. Doug and the guys are ardent Second Amendment supporters and will always shoot straight with service and fair pricing. It's been a long winter with lots of snow, ice, and rough roads, so now's the time to get that alignment checked from the curb shots, potholes, and bumpy snow-covered roads. Summer will be here before you know it, so get that rig scheduled for an AC charge. Make sure and tell the guys at Lowry you heard the sponsored Guns in the 701 and thank them for supporting and promoting our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota, 701-258-6308. Your North Dakota proud, patriotic auto repair service.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by the Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, the Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com. All right, welcome back, everybody. And yes, again, thank our sponsors. if you do business there, which I really highly recommend you do, let them know that you heard it right here on Guns in the 701. As we've been hearing from both Wyatt and from Doug, people are coming in, they're telling them that, and we're glad to hear that. So keep supporting those guys that are supporting us, because without it, we can't do it without them. And you know that your money and their profits that they make are going to causes like this. And that's the great thing about this. We all got to stay on the same team, and it's great to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll find out a little later when Clay brings up one of his Clay's Commie Companies why it's a good idea to support people like our sponsors in this show. So, all right, Clayton. I'll tell you what, we're going into two-way bullet points. I just real quick, and I'll let you hit on your first one. Remember, I did a couple weeks ago here about the iPal, or if you can't see closer for. All right, and I told you guys I was going to buy this. I got it right here. Okay, iPal, perfect. I'm going to let you know if it works. I even bought the higher priced one here, the combo for rifle, handgun, and bow, because I'm going to let you guys know if this stuff really works. Because I mean, I've said it before, but if you're new to the show or you missed it, it's hard for me to see close, whatever the heck you call that. So seeing sights on handguns is hard, and I mean, you might not know that by that 30-yard dagger I shot at the handgun, the carry handgun there in the video, but a little luck might have been involved. But yeah, I'm going to do it. It's not going to be this weekend. I'll tell you why, because it's going to be in the 90s starting Friday, and it's going to be one hell of a hootenanny on the river here this weekend. I ain't going to lie to you there. And then next weekend I'm on vacation. So, and it's going to be 90 there. I'm not going to have, I might shoot some handgun out where I'm going on vacation with my relatives, but Clay's going to be handling it. Hopefully Marty Beard's going to be his guest Wednesday. But when I get a chance to shoot this, I'll give you guys the full review on it if it works. So.
Yeah, Marty Beard's going to be joining us. He's going to be my co-pilot there, filling in for JD. So looking forward. That ought to be interesting. So, got questions for Marty, which
I'm laughing, but Marty's fun. Not only is Marty a funny guy, he's Marty's full of information. He's a great American, so I'm not.
Well, we got to do some test runs. We got to get him online, and I think he's going over to Wyatt, so I think we'll try that out.
Yeah, their neighbors out there down and whatever. I don't want him. Name is not a province.
The compound.
It's definitely the blind guy compound.
Mark, he says he wishes he was there to go to the river this weekend. Well,
Mark
I can
and
tell you
Nicole
right now,
came up. We were telling them it was going to be warm, and man, they came in like one of the coldest parts of July I've had. We'll send you guys some videos, Mark. Sorry, man.
I can tell you this, that as hot as it's going to be, I'm planning to take the boat and try to get it out on a body of water somewhere.
Get some sun on that, Clay. Get some sun on your legs.
No, they just burn. I'm white. If I go into the water, you know how the fish go to white, bright stuff. Yeah, I'm the legs.
I'm known as leather strap on the boat, so that'll. All right, Clay. You
go ahead with your.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll give you my first bullet point. Now you want me to go? All right. Mine's real short. My first one's real short here. So, yesterday was July 18th, and so here's my story here. Before Winchester, there was Smith & Wesson. More specifically, volcanic repeating arms. On this day, which was yesterday, July 18th, in 1885, the Volcanic Repeating Arms Company was incorporated in New Haven, Connecticut, with Horace Smith and Daniel Wesson at its helm as majority stakeholders. The first Smith & Wesson partnership that manufactured magazine pistols had been reorganized as Volcanic Repeating Arms Company, with Benjamin Tyler Henry as shop superintendent and Oliver Winchester as president. We know that name too, right?
Oh, yeah, we do.
All titans of the firearm industry working under the same roof. This partnership would prove to be the birth of modern repeating arms, and Volcanic Repeating Arms would later reorganize as Winchester Repeating Arms. So Winchester was actually Volcanic, and Smith & Wesson actually took on their real names, right? Smith & Wesson and Oliver Winchester. So that's crazy. These guys all, even to this day, Winchester, not as much Winchester, but I mean, Smith & Wesson's still one of the, if not the big dog. It's them or Ruger probably in the firearms industry, but they were all started under the same one building. They all started out, and unfortunately, Clay, in a commie state like Connecticut, but back then it was free as a bird. But
that was the gun valley. I mean, everything was out there.
Yeah. So Smith & Wesson actually started out as Volcanic Repeating Arms, and there's a cool pistol, Clay. I was going to send you the picture. I didn't. I actually got this story off Smith & Wesson's Facebook page. And a
Okay.
bunch of people in the comments said that this pistol they had was in Red Dead. Red Dead 2 it's a video
Oh,
game. I know
okay.
but it's
Could
kind
be.
of an old Western thing, but yeah, it's cool. I think it was almost, I don't want to say a semi-automatic, but you kind of cocked it, but I think it had an internal magazine that you loaded up, but you know, first assault weapon there, Clayton. So,
First assault weapon.
but I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool, man. That's a good piece of history there.
Oh yeah.
You know, I didn't know they were separate, and they all worked together before they separated. And it didn't say whether they split on good terms or bad terms, but whatever.
I really don't
man.
know either. Just a second.
I'm glad they got together because I love them. I own a Winchester and I own multiple Smith and Wesson.
I got both. I loved my Winchester. I haven't bought
You got probably everything behind you there, so
I got a little of everything. Yeah.
you got as many as that guy we had the first story about.
Back here, yeah, and then yeah, that ain't even all of them. You can't see them all.
Yeah. All right, Clay,
So,
you go ahead with your
It's funny
2A.
you picked that. Now, guys, Jamie and I do not discuss what we're going to do for
No,
our 2A bullet
not in 2A
points.
bullet points.
And mine's kind of a historical one too. So you probably can't hear this, but anyone know what that is?
Clip.
Yeah, that is the end block clip. And you know what it fits?
Yeah, I do, but tell everybody.
That fits the M1 Grand or Garand. Some people call it. I've always called it the
I say
Grand.
Grand.
And the M1, of course, we know that was built and developed by John Grand, and he put the end block clip in.
Canuck.
Now, the reason I bring this up is I was kind of flipping through my NRA magazine, you know, that evil organization.
Those compromisers.
And under their historical section, they had something on the M1. And, you know, I learned something new about that gun all the time. I wish Gene was listening tonight because he's really into this.
Gene's always got some good stuff.
And found out that, you know, basically the military was essentially looking for a 30 millimeter or a 30 caliber, 30 caliber. They were looking for something that actually was 10 rounds or less. They did not like the weight.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's all you need. And for whatever reason, and it sounds like that when John Grand was actually designing this, he went with this at first rather than the box magazine. You got to remember, right before that, Browning just had a great success with a box magazine. It was a 20 rounder, and it was in the model 1918. So
Really?
he had one, yeah.
Detachable or was it clip fed?
Detachable. So they
That's what
did
you should have
exist.
did.
And he actually thought about it. But he had, here's what the deal was with that. He had an unusual primer actuated mechanism basically incorporated into the M1, and it didn't work well, the box magazine, according to the article. So they went with this, and the end block clip came around. He didn't want it. He wanted to reconfigure, go for a box magazine. The Army said, nope. They wanted something fast, cheap, and it's something you didn't have to fumble with for reloading. Well, when you look at these clips, so when you put them in the M1, you know, they go down. It seems simple, right?
Is that how you get ground thumb?
That's how you get grand thumb. I tell you what, when that action slides back, when that hits, you better have your thumb clear. And yes, it probably was quick. These were inexpensive. And that was pretty much the deciding factor, except there was another guy, John Peterson. I thought that was great.
Oh, yeah.
And he was developing something as well. So these two were competing. And actually, John Grand's had it was a .276 caliber design.
270, yeah, like special forces back in the day over in your Pacific theaters using these.
Yes, and that's what the original was. Like I said, I could go into this quite a bit. And he ended up doing an 8-round clip, which was under the 10.
Peterson was 8 or Grand?
The Grand ended up being, because he went to the 30 caliber, which is what the Army wanted. They wanted a 30 caliber. So they went with the 8-round. And that's where the 8-round comes from.
There you go. There's a noise right there.
There it was.
You watch Private Ryan, you hear that all the time. Or Band of Brothers, and yeah.
And I was doing some research on that because I was always told this too, that's what our enemies, they'd wait to hear that ting, and they knew you were out. So then they'd advance. Well, in the article, they had some opinion was put into there and saying that even though soldiers said that and it had happened, there was no documented research. Well, of course, there's no document. It isn't like they were sitting there writing down. Now we lost this soldier today because the ting went off and a Japanese an enemy
Well,
shot him. They gotta document that.
I will tell you this, Clayton. Everybody, people who listen to the show regularly know Travis. I mean, he comes in and he's joking around, throwing bombs, and his dad fought over. I think it was I want to say it was Iwo Jima, and he told us the story. He did tell us that he was wounded on Iwo Jima actually, but he told us. He told us many war stories, and Ed Roy did tell us that in fact they did do that over there. So
my grandpa told me that too. My grandpa's World War II vet, and he told me that too, that you had wanted to. So a little add to that, my grandpa included telling me some of these stories, and I'm sure that there's a ton of them out there. Well, they knew they could use that to their advantage too. So what I was just doing, they started doing. They'd go, "Oops, I won't do." But they'd ting them,
yep,
like that.
oh yeah.
To draw these guys out, as soon as they'd stick their heads out, boom, they'd shoot them. So our guys got smart with these. You could take a couple of them and ting them, and basically. And I can tell you from shooting my M1, it's a loud ting. I can see where that would not be a good thing, especially if you're trying to do a sneak attack or you're advancing. All of a sudden, boom, 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 ting. Oh, that'd be horrible.
Oh man,
because you could get shot in the time it'd take you to put these in.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, why would you want a detachable magazine and just drop one?
So that was my quick little bullet point. I want to give a little historical note on the in-block clip, how it came about. Basically, it was right. The Army wanted something quick, cheap, and usable. It ended up being an 8-round because you couldn't fit 10 rounds into this particular clip, and it was available. It'd been around for a while, so that's what he did with it, and that's how we come up with the M1. It had the in-block clip, a true clip, not a magazine.
Right.
And became an iconic gun that was used all through World War II and into the Korean War. And my M1's a Korean War one. So,
and I will add to that, Clay, General Patton, who most people know about, who've been around, said that was probably the war winner right there, was the M1 Garand semi-automatic.
Yep.
I mean, there were submachine guns, but as far as your main battle rifle, all these other guys have bolt actions, and our boys had 30-06 semi-auto, which if you know what a 30-06, you're laying the hammer down, man. When you just drop the trigger on that, don't have to worry about it. So,
and that's why the 30-06 was so popular when our men got back.
Yep.
All the Springfields 30-06, and there was tons of them actions and tons. So the 30-06 become the premier hunting rifle after that, because there were so many of them.
So how many, the bolt action from World War I was called the Springfield 1911, right, Clay? And do you know how many rounds that held, a 30-06?
I don't. I don't. I'd have to look that up. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't. I know our buddy Bachmeyer has one, but
yeah.
JB for hey, Amy, I tell you what, we would be better off with me as president. I'm not saying, I'm actually probably first time in the history, Clay. I'm probably actually have a higher intelligence level than the president and vice president.
I think anyone does. I tell you what, you just appoint me Secretary of Defense, though.
Okay? Oh, for sure.
Interior.
I got it all picked out. Borders are, U.S. It's gonna be great.
Because Secretary of Defense, I'll close that border down. Keith O'Donnell, where he chimes in, Browning had significant impacts on weapon development in World War II. The bar and the M2, absolutely. The bar, my goodness, the Browning automatic rifle. When you look at the technology that was developed and implemented during World War II, I'll tell you what, there was a lot of things, and we're still using a lot of that technology yet today.
Yeah, again, if you watch Saving Private Ryan, I think Ryben is the BAR guy on there. That's a 30-06. That's a detachable. I think the BAR was a 20-rounder. I'm pretty sure it was. And what was
chime in, Keith, if you know, but I think it was too.
I'm pretty sure. And then what was the Browning, the smaller machine gun? That was a 30-06 too, I think, actually.
I don't even remember which one that was.
It's got the trigger, like the fit. It was like
the Ma Deuce.
No, not the Ma Deuce. No? It was the 30 cal one.
Oh,
but it had the button in the back.
It had the butterfly one. The butterfly.
Yeah, it had like that shield around the barrel with all the holes in it.
Yeah.
I can't think of it right now. It was an M something, but
yeah. Like I said, Keith, if you know, chime in.
I bet you Keith knows what I'm talking about. I'm just.
I admit I don't know it all.
Yeah,
I know quite a bit, but I don't know it all.
All right,
M2 was the 50 cal. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I know the M2. Yeah, I mean the Ma Deuce. That's where you get the M2 from. But
those are fun, guys. If you haven't had the opportunity, go somewhere and do it.
Yeah,
you won't regret it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're awesome. Man. Even a single shot 50 of axles is awesome. I couldn't imagine going full auto on it. That'd be
it's awesome.
yeah. I'm telling you, man, testosterone level would boost up a little bit there. So, all right, Clay, I'm gonna do my second point here.
Yep.
Unless you got any more chats up there we need to throw up.
No, I think we covered them pretty good.
All right, so here we go. On June 29th, the North Dakota Industrial Commission approved more than $6.3 million from the Outdoor Heritage Fund and Renewable Energy Program matching grants, including $200,000 grant to the National Wild Turkey Federation for wildlife habitat enhancements. M1919. Thank you, David Fettig. That's what I was talking about. 30. The crew could carry it around. Anyway, the use of these funds will further build upon the National Wild Turkey Foundation's riparian restoration efforts, such as the Waterways for Wildlife Initiative, which prioritizes the restoration and conservation of riparian areas. With the Outdoor Heritage Foundation support, we can broaden our conservation footprint and achieve greater conservation outcomes for riparian health and wildlife habitat conservation. These practices, Clay, include the installation of off-site water facilities, as well as the creation of rotational grazing systems. By implementing these measures, managers can effectively remove livestock from riparian zones, promoting longer growth of native species and enhanced wildlife habitat. These initiatives also have the added benefit of improving water quality through increased infiltration, reduced compaction, and decreased erosion potential, among other positive impacts. With a 4-year deadline to complete the project work covering approximately 1,500 acres, National Wildlife Turkey Federation will rely on strong connections with local chapters and leverage partnerships across the state. By collaborating with these key stakeholders, significant impacts will be achieved for the well-being of turkey populations and other wildlife in North Dakota. What do you think of that, Clay?
Well, I can tell you right now, any kind of money that they're giving out to things like that, it sounds good, don't
it? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
I can see a lot of people signing into things. I'll tell you what, the one I haven't seen any of the contracts, because there's going to be a contract if you're working with a private property owner. You got to go and see what is the giveaway. I mean, they ain't going to just give you money to do this. What do you have to sign away as far as a private property right? How long does that go? How far does it go? Some of these it's an easement is basically what you're going to give, especially if you're going to do improvements for waterways. And that's going to flow through your land. And then what can you or can you not do? They talk about the rotational grazing. Well, I already do that. If you ain't doing that, you're probably not managing things very well. I do rotate my grazing, and I have it in a rotation based on the grasses in those pastures. So I'm not going to go into that on here, but that you should be doing that anyway without even being paid. That's just good, sound business management.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not even a rancher, and I know. I mean, I grew up around it, but I didn't.
If you want my opinion, anytime you're giving quote free money away, and there's no such thing as free money, and they know that you're getting a grant for this, everything gets more expensive, and everything gets more complicated. So, I mean, I wish them well, but I'm curious. I don't think it's a place for.
I'm curious. They got 200,000, but this was a $6.3 million from that was taken.
What's the rest of it?
Yeah, I wonder what that's going for. Outdoor heritage, because 200,000 out of that's peanuts.
That's nothing,
And I don't know where the riparian areas are or none of that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, this year, the 2023 National Wild Turkey Foundation's 50th anniversary, and the Wild Turkey Foundation is actually fairly conservative.
They're one of the better ones. They're one that if I was going to go to a banquet other than a foundation for the NRA banquet, I'd go to that one.
Which kind of gave me a little hope that it's nothing too shady, but you never. I know when you're dealing with government. I mean, there is some good people in there, but usually you're dealing with.
And I was against the Outdoor Heritage Fund. I was against it. I urged the congressman in our 2 states down here to say no to it, but they did it anyway. Trump was all for it. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good bill. It actually opened up the gateways for a lot of bad things, including things we're seeing in the 30 by 30. So it wasn't a good thing.
All right, Clayton, go hit on your second one here.
Well, my second one's real easy. Speaking of Trump, and I guess I had a different one picked up, but with the events that have actually come about here, they're working on indicting him again for the 3rd time. They already indicted him once in New York and once in Florida, once on a state charge, which is bogus, and then in Florida, they're not.
I mean, they're all bogus, but
absolutely, they're based on nothing. This is nothing but going after somebody who stands up for us, the American people, whether you like him or not. He did that. Our economy was good. Look back at the 4 years of Trump and what he did, and tell me that it was horrible for you, because it wasn't.
oh, the first guy in the thing said it's way better when Democrats are in there. I mean, it's way better now than when Trump was in, right?
Oh, gotta be, right? And the reason this comes into a 2A bullet point with Trump is it's important who the president is. Right now, whether people like it or not, and people got their different favorites. In fact, me and Jamie got two different ones, but that's fine.
Yep.
Trump's going to be the nominee.
Yep.
Okay, that's going to happen. In fact, these indictments probably have ensured that at this point, because people are pissed. And the grassroots people are pissed. We saw it in our own state Republican Party. Look what happened. We threw the bums out. Now, can the new leadership do what they were supposed to? If they don't, we'll throw their ass out too.
And Clay, just real quick, if you don't think your vote matters, Perry Schaefer, middle of the road Republican, he got beat by one vote, right, Clay, by a conservative. Yeah,
one vote.
Yep.
One vote.
So your vote matters. If you think you're sitting on the side, it don't matter. Hell it doesn't. It matters.
Here's a good example. District 31. That is Perry's district, which I become part of a few years ago. And I've been working ever since. He finally figured it out. What's that?
I tried to become part
I know you did. I know you did.
Go ahead, buddy.
31 has been owned by the establishment for 20 plus years. They really have. I'm going way back, probably closer to 30. And we threw them out. We got rid of the chairman, Don Scheibe, who's nothing but a rhino. I don't care if he hears this is not good. I've told him he's a rhino to his face. I don't like him. He's from Mott. We need to vote him out. He's a senator. He's a horrible senator.
Hey, big bird hunter.
Boom. Yeah, probably takes government money. But anyway. So we're not going to go down that road tonight. But what I'm getting at is we were able to switch that chair to Mary Grainer, who's a constitutional conservative. One vote, guys. One vote did this. Whether it's her vote, think of the districts that were close. And I can tell you right now, 31, no one ever. 31 was wrote off for a long time until a few of us got involved there.
Yeah.
So we're very proud of the work we did there, and we'll keep doing it. And one vote did it. Anyway, getting back to this, why it matters who the president is. Look at the justices we've had, and look that were appointed to the Supreme Court, and look at the decisions we've had. Even in this craziness we got right now in Congress, with the laws being passed there at the state levels, these cases are going to the Supreme Court, and they're being ruled in our favor for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Bruin was huge, guys. Bruin was the Roe versus Wade of our time, as far as for Second Amendment. Everything
took care of that too.
And we took care of that too. But everything hinges on that decision. And you're starting to see these lower courts now that had things in there going, wait a second, we just had the Bruin decision. So they reference Bruin and say, oh, we're going to throw this case out now because now it's unconstitutional. Elections matter, votes matter. What's happening to Trump right now, or any candidate that would be the front runner, they'd be doing the same thing to. The Democrat Party is intent on keeping power at all means necessary. And I mean all means, whether it's legal, illegal, constitutional or not. They are here to stay unless we throw them out one way or another.
And they're getting worse. And
it's getting worse. So the Supreme Court, ironically, has been that buffer to hold back the gates for a little while. And this election is very important. So
the next president's going to probably get to appoint two more, Clay. And
absolutely.
Whoever's in there. And some people might be like, hey, but we got the House. Doesn't matter. The Senate confirms the judicial appointments.
That's right.
So,
and I can tell you right now,
we got a Democrat and they hold the Senate, and then they got the Supreme Court majority, and they'll be, we got to rehear this Bruin crap. And trust me, they'll do it.
No other campaign already has a strategy for mail-in, for early voting. The people on the ground in every state, I can assure you of that right now. Charlie Kirk has actually been appointed by the Trump campaign, from what I understand. He's going to be heading up 4 or 5 of those key states, and they're going to be running the mail-in ballot campaign because we have to. If we do not do that, and I can tell you, none of the other, Mike Pence sure as hell isn't going to do it. He's just as bad as the rest of them. And I think Tucker destroyed his chances. So
it's Clay and Buck did too. I mean, that guy, Tucker definitely put the nail in the coffin. Which is should. I mean, hey,
I like
Mike
that
Pence probably a nice guy, but dude, no chance.
But he's not anymore. I'm at a point where if you're not on board to save the country, whatever we need to do, and you're going to go along to get along,
I got you.
You're not nice. You're actually part of the problem.
Yeah,
right now we're at a point right now. Join us, or you're the enemy in a way. We can't use you if you're not with the path to get back on track to where we were and save this constitutional republic. Then you're an enemy of the state. It's that simple anymore for me. I'm just that's where I'm at, and I hope a lot of people. I tell you what, one thing right now, guys, this stuff matters.
Oh yeah,
and I'm glad people can go out and have a good time, but forget about the sports in your schools. Support all this crap that the pop culture. I know it's not, but you're also the problem if that's what your priorities are.
I mean, they're not going to forget about. They're going to have to do is incorporate a little more politics into their thinking.
They have to. They got to get involved.
I know so many people who hate what's going on, but they're just not going to quit watching their kids play sports. I mean, it's just.
And that's
we got to figure out a medium.
You don't have to stop at all, but you have to get involved. And if you're making that decision that I'm going to travel over to Fargo this weekend and make a 400-mile trip across the state rather than go vote, then you're the problem. You are the problem. That's just, I'm going to call a spade a spade. That's
wear your vest when you go to Fargo, Clint.
Yeah, wear your vest when you go to Fargo. I could have done that as a 2A. So anyway, guys, that's how come my 2A bullet point. It wasn't kind of what we usually do, but I thought it was important, especially with what's happening right now.
I'm only half joking about that in Fargo, man. I know people there I was messaging with that they're actually was telling me how fed up they're getting with what's going on there with the people flowing in there. It's well, hey man, they don't care about shooting cops. They couldn't care less. So
oh yeah, no, that's Leon, 100%. Thanks, Leon. Leon, I've heard you, and I know you're just right there with us, and we appreciate you. True patriot over there on the eastern side, fighting for us every day.
He's moving farther west, though.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, you're gonna want to tune in. We're gonna be doing something about that on a different program. But
say what you're saying. Nobody's say that for the podcasters, Clay.
For the podcasters, DJ Doug Thompson down on Box Elder. Just look at what they're trying to do to Jason Aldean for his song "Small Town." Absolutely, and all they did was now they're going to make it rise to the top, whether they like it or not.
It already is. It's #1 download on iTunes, and I mean, if you're a leftist and you love what they're trying to do at Aldean, you're in big trouble because that guy's on, and he's been going farther right ever since Vegas happened. He came out. He was kind of in favor of some gun control things, but they're making them go farther, right, Clayton? That's what they're doing, and I'm glad they're doing it because remember, I'm not even going to get into it. We'll talk about it Friday. Hey, you guys,
we'll talk about it Friday.
Yeah,
and I can tell you right now, they force you to do this. You cannot compromise with the Democrats. There's no such thing. Their idea is compromise is do it their way, or we're going to cancel you. We're going to crush you. That's their ideology. That's what they believe. So why compromise?
So Aldean put a thing out. I read it on Facebook trying to explain what he did. And I just put a comment in there, under both of our names on Guns in the 701. I said, hey, you can explain all you want to a leftist, but they're never going to go your way. So just give it up.
That's right. Yeah, he does. He's got a pretty long comment here, and it was right. Yeah. I printed it out.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what he said, but hey, man, you're beating your head against the wall with these people.
And
so
we are going to address. That's going to be one of the topics on Mitchell in the morning. So tune in to Friday's show.
That's going to be one of them. And then we got Connecticut Senator Chris. What's that bozo's name? Chris Murphy. He wants to strip Second Amendment rights from our military guys. He's added into a bill, and I'm telling you. I think he's going to get it in there on the Senate side. Hopefully enough people in the House recognize us. Clayton are going to break that down. And third one's going to be a wild card, Clayton. So,
and I can tell you right now, guys, all spending bills originate in the House. So they can do whatever they want from the Senate side. but it has to clear the House.
Yeah. See, what they want to do is add that in there in case you're not in the know.
Yep.
They add that in on like a military spending bill to support
Yep.
fund the military. And and then if you vote against it, look, these Republicans said they're pro-military and they're voting against it. I mean, it's an old trick. It sucks,
Yep.
but people don't pay attention, fall for it all the time.
Keith O'Donnell chimed in. He goes, "You can thank Luther's social services." And
Yeah.
he's referencing is what happened in Fargo.
And hey, guess what? They went under, and what did King Dougie do?
No, the state's doing it now.
Yeah, he bought it out and kept it going.
You're a presidential candidate in the Republican Party for 2024.
And don't forget, I'll tell you what, the first time around I did vote for him, and you know what made me hate Doug Burgum? He came out when Trump said governors do not have to take these refugees, and Doug Burgum came out. I know I've said this before, and he said, you know what he said, Clay? He said, you can't say no, it just looks bad. In other words, his spine shriveled up because he thought he was going to be called a racist for blocking these people who come here who don't really believe in America. Thanks, Doug. You're awesome. That was really a great move, dude. You should be president.
Not. Yeah. And
no, I mean, I'm kind of light on some guys who aren't hardcore, but Doug Burgum, that guy lost me a long time ago and pisses me off. I don't care if
Burgum is so popular, he had to buy votes. So he can be on the debate. I don't know if he hit it yet.
When the some bitch ran, he got 75% of the vote.
Somebody's
got to run against this guy because he ain't going to be president. Somebody's got to run against this guy who actually has a chance of being governor because this guy is terrible for North Dakota.
Well, and I think I told you, I guess I'll say it here because I heard this more than once now. I think Doug Burgum is going to run for the open seat in the House. And everybody's like, huh? Because Kelly Armstrong wants to be governor. Yeah. That's the word on the street.
That's what I heard.
And I could see that happening. And I won't
vote. Better. He's not.
He's better. I will not vote for him. I will write in a candidate. I'm done voting. I'm done voting for the Rhinos.
Yeah, I'm not with you on that one. I'm going to vote for him if he's governor. I mean, we're going to be way worse off if a Democrat would get in there.
I'm done voting for Rhinos. I'm at that point now. And we'll get the same results if we keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you get a Democrat governor, there ain't no damn way signing one pro-gun bill in this state.
No, but you know what? Burgum would have signed them. He was for red flag laws, but we clamped down on him. And then we got all that.
He was going to sign the transgender bill.
Luckily, it never got to his desk because we still had a hold on the legislature. So that's where you do it.
We got to let conservatives. We can get them in there, and then if the governor doesn't want to do something. Well,
Leon's with me. I'm done. I'm done voting for Rhino. That's why I voted for Coach. But anyway, so that was my big soapbox on my 2A bullet point.
Perfect. Loved it, man. That was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. All right, Clayton. So coming up now, we got coming up next year, right?
Oh yeah. Now, which one do I choose? Right? No, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Here's what we're doing.
Play it. There we go. Yeah. By the way, did you know we got nixed on YouTube briefly for that?
No.
For that song that said it was an infringement of copyrights, which it wasn't. So I did the whole appeal thing, and they put things up. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, this Vladimir, I know this Guns in the 701 using our national anthem. It's a copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Don't make me send in the Spetsnaz.
I tell you. Maybe Marty can make us a meme on that. I think that'd make a good meme, wouldn't it?
All right, boy, hey, brother Franzen's tuned in here. He's watching. The blind guy got done haying. He's tuned in. I appreciate that, brother.
Well, I can tell you this. I actually was looking at a few of them, and I'm going to go with Panera Bread. And, Panera Bread, if you don't know.
Come on, Clay. They got good macaroni and cheese.
That could be, but they're commies. They right away, I noticed it when I was in Bismarck, and that's before they put the one down there by Kirkwood. It was actually over there on the other side of the interstate, north of the old Oasis. I don't know what they call it now over there, but I went in there, and the first thing I see, we thought we'd try something new, right? They were brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this no guns or weapons sign right on their door.
Really?
And I was like, huh.
I haven't ever eaten there, so.
Well, I haven't said. I didn't then either, by
Sounds
the way.
like I never will.
Yeah, and so me and Danelle knew what was coming. My wife, guys, she's just like, oh, because I was an NRA rep at that time,
Yeah.
and I said, I see you guys got a communist. I said it like that. I said, see, you got a communist sign on your door. And this gal's like, huh? I said, well, you don't like the Second Amendment. Well, what do you mean? I said, you got a manager. So some manager came. I don't think they were even the manager.
Yes,
He says, is there a problem? And I go, yeah, that sign on your door. I said, how come you're a communist? You don't support the Second Amendment in the United States Constitution? What's going on in this place? I said, you just come to town here in North Dakota and you're throwing out commie signs everywhere? Well, it's for your safety. I was like, really? I said, so how am I safer now? Well, it's our store policy. So he
Well, we
didn't
can
answer
shoot
the
you
question. And I go, well, so what you're telling me is if I was carrying right now, that I wouldn't be permitted in here. Well, yeah, we'd have to ask you to leave. I said, well, why are you afraid of people who are carrying guns? Well, wouldn't that scare you? I said, no, it wouldn't scare me in the least. I said, you didn't notice the hat I was wearing, which at the time was NRA. Anyway, so I give him my card and introduced myself. Then he's, oh, I said, by the way, and it was cold. So I pulled my, I said, see that? I said, that's a firearm. I said, amazing. It's not doing nothing. It's not hurting nobody. You should have seen this guy. He was literally scared. I could tell he was. He goes, well, you got to leave now, sir. You got to leave now. I said, don't worry. I am. There's no way I'm spending money here. I said, so that's a company policy. He goes, yep. And it is. So when I got back into my office, I looked it up. Yeah, they're big anti-gunners. And I started tracing they donate to every single Democrat thing you can think of. They had at that time donated to Obama at one point. I imagine they donated to Hillary. I didn't.
Hey, what's wrong with donating to my campaign?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Big supporters of the DNC.
I'm a Second Amendment guy. I taught it in college.
Yeah, he's a big Second Amendment. Has the shotgun with the smoke going out both ways.
Way up on his shoulder.
Yeah, but they also donated to Heidi Heidkamp. But I mean,
oh, come on, guys, Clay, she loves guns. Her and Joel.
Oh, yeah, her and Joel. You know, wipe your Heidi.
Damn right I do.
You take
I'm
a Joel
big
and
old
wipe your
boy
Heidi.
too.
So that's my Commie Company of the week. It was a pretty easy one. I had a first account recollection, and Leon says, "Hey," he says, "I damn near shot my TV." That's when we heard the intro.
Oh man,
Look,
I wish Leon could have stayed around longer.
Now, Clay, that makes you part of the problem. No vote as a Democrat. That didn't say I wasn't voting. I never said I wasn't voting. I'm not voting for rhinos. There are other options in North Dakota. And I'm not part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I know where you guys are coming from with that, but I'm never getting on board with that.
Communism has a copyright. That would be ironic. Yeah, no, that's kind of what I thought. And what they said was,
I always thought they did.
It was a copyright because of whoever did that particular one. Well, I went and got the copyright law, and being it is a national anthem, nobody can copyright it. If you sing it, it's public domain. Even our own is. So I went ahead and sent that to YouTube commies, and I showed them it.
Maybe you and I should sing it.
Yeah. Oh. Leon asked, he says, that guy piss himself or pee himself? If he did, I didn't know this. He was
down his leg with Chris Matthews, but it wasn't.
And then he asked me, he says, you should have asked him if it was because the gun was black. Oh, that would have been, I was wearing my Glock that day, so that would have been great.
He's out that gun and he's a racist.
And he's a racist. So, yeah. So, Panera Bread, don't do business with them commies. They are the Commie Company of the week. There's one down by Kirkwood Mall. Let them know they're commies.
Not only that, Clay, a few stores, they sell the Panera and the mac and cheese. So,
don't buy it.
That's why I said they make it. I did know they were commies, but yeah. Anyways, good Commie Company of the week, Clay. I mean, sometimes you can't avoid these companies, you guys, but
and we've talked about that. Sometimes you can't.
For the most part, if you can, if there's a Panera and there's I don't know whatever Chick-fil-A next to it, go over to Chick-fil-A. I mean, Chick-fil-A's even kind of buckled recently, but
on a few things, yeah.
You know, they got to take the best of the worst. You got to just go home and make yourself something.
I gotta say, to me that must be a town thing because
where I live, sausage.
We make our own food every day. So
yeah. All right, Clay. So we got one more thing here, and then we're gonna do a little promotion. So here's what's coming up next.
Never
Oh yeah. Hey Clay, by the way, Panera.
Mm-hmm.
Nasty person.
There we go. I'm glad we kept that. I'm glad we have that right
That's
there
awesome,
ready.
man. All right, so the music there was happy ending of the week, and Clay was talking about like he was digging into what are you on there with Armed American Radio? What's that called? You're on the
It's the Armed American. It's on Telegram. Their chat
yeah.
now.
So the first place I heard this from, just in case Mark Walters and the boys are listening from Armed, I did get the happy ending thing of the week from there, and I'm pretty sure Mark didn't invent it, but he does a damn good job with it. So
let me give you some background music.
there you go. All right. This one comes to us from Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. A Philadelphia woman returned to her apartment about 1 a.m. Sunday and opened fire on 4 burglars who were inside the residence. All 4, it says alleged burglars, but all 4 burglars fled the apartment when the woman opened fire, NBC News 10 Philadelphia reported. 6 ABC noted that she shot 2 of the suspects, one of whom was identified as 48-year-old Jermaine Parker and the other as 45-year-old Randy Miller. Parker was lying on the ground suffering. Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, no.
From 2 gunshot wounds, and officers arrived. Miller was found a short time later elsewhere in the complex with a gunshot wound to his back. Police indicated the woman shot both men in self-defense, and they're both will be facing burglary charges. I'm surprised in Philadelphia they're even letting her off the hook, Clay.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you know what struck me about this little bit, Clay? Anyways, if you didn't get the happy ending here, she exercised her Second Amendment rights, had her gun. You know what? These 2 4 scumbags, I'll bet you any money, Clay, they'd have raped her and probably killed her.
Probably would have killed her.
Yeah, instead she ended up ventilating a couple of the losers.
Awesome.
But we got a 48-year-old guy, Clay, and a 45-year-old guy. Really? You're that far along in life and you're still that big of a damn loser that you're freaking robbing people's houses, you low-life piece of crap.
There you go. We were thinking the same thing there.
Yeah, thank God this woman wounded these scumbags. So I hope they got wounds for the rest of their life in prison. They're freaking scumbags. Thank you for doing what you did, man.
Absolutely. It's kind of like that video I sent you with I think our little other chat there where they tried to rob that gun store. Yeah. And they come in there, and then this guy who owns the store, I imagine, he pulls his out. He ventilated the one. I'm pretty sure he killed the other one, too. I mean, he just turned around like, how stupid are you? Let's go try and rob a gun store. Brilliant, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually worked a couple times. Most of the time it's a failure. I remember one time in Detroit too, a guy went in there and he did actually open fire and got before the cops got him. A couple of George Floyd, says Leon.
Nice, Leon.
He nailed it right there. Leon nailed it right there. I mean, hey, that might piss some people off, but Leon's right on the money. So
absolutely. Marty, you're right. Cracker Barrel. And we did Buffalo Wild Wings already.
Yep.
They're both anti-gun. They have been for a long time.
Cracker Barrel went full woke too.
Full woke. Yeah, they not just went. Now they're full woke on top of it.
I mean, B-Dubs probably is too. So
Keith, he says, I haven't eaten there. It was hippie food. They do got some weird. We were just gonna try it, but yeah. So
all right, Clay. Why don't we do a little? Let's do a little promotional here and we'll add a few things, and then we usually go about an hour and 40. So
anymore, it seems like it. So right away, I'm going to throw this up here. This is, of course, on Friday. And like I said, I encourage you guys to listen on Friday. This is KFYR 550 AM radio. You can catch it on iHeart as well. Everything uploads to iHeart when we're done. And we're joining Todd Mitchell with Mitchell in the Morning, 8:40 AM Central. And then, of course, 7:40 AM Mountain Time. And we kind of told you, give you a little teaser of what we're going to be talking about. So join in there. And I have a feeling I kind of know what I want to touch on that third subject, but we'll see. The other two sometimes, these 2 could overshadow that.
I think I was thinking of something else, but right in the beginning there, Josie Milbrandt put something on there. I think maybe we better hit on that a little bit. So
yeah, we can do that here. I can find the comment, but
well, he said, did you hear Drew Wrigley's statement on it?
Yeah. So I did not hear.
My guess is it wasn't what we really wanted to hear because Josie's a pretty conservative dude, which I agree with him on pretty much everything. And we'll check it out. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am, but
I'll try to go listen to that. This is it was concerning what happened in Fargo with the shooting out there and the shooting of the police officer out there. Well, let's face it, it was I don't know what origin country, but a person who came in here and probably part of the Luther Social Services program. And I don't know why he went berserk or why he killed, shot people, but he
They
did.
won't say.
It doesn't say. I still haven't gotten any information on it. So,
Furthermore,
um,
Clay, just to expand on that just for a second, what show was that I sent you that little video of on Sunday that they play that? Like Paul Myers from Legacy, or am I thinking of the
oh,
other guy? He's out of Fargo.
yeah, I don't remember that.
He's a big
That's on
leftist.
Sundays on K
Sunday
Fire.
morning, he buys a spot on K Fire. He pays to go on there,
Mm-hmm.
and he was belly aching. They didn't even say what kind of weapon it was, but one eyewitness said it shouldered a rifle of some sort. It might have been a carbine pistol, but he's like, "Wow, man, yeah, nobody should own these kind of guns and these 9mm pistols. There's a big black market for them in Minnesota, and they shouldn't own these." And yeah, so a big liberal who lives in Fargo rents a spot on a radio station over in the western half of the state and tries to tell us about guns and that nobody should own. That's funny. That's never happened over here. I'm not saying it never will, but for the most
Right.
part, Fargo's got all kinds of people using guns in crimes, and it's not. It's people that are moving in there from. I mean,
From other places,
right? From other places.
whether it's from here or
And,
whether
it,
it's from
and then,
overseas.
it ain't just, some people probably, oh, he's just saying it's black people. Nah, there's a
No.
big population coming in from parts of Russia over there that are white people. They're the big criminal element too. I know people who are educators down in Fargo and they tell me about it. So, I mean, that's a different story. We can get into that at some other point. But yeah, I'm not singling anybody out, but it's people that aren't from North Dakota. And it's
Well,
same thing can happen in the oil field from people.
I can tell you this: I don't care what color they are. I just don't.
Yeah.
If you're a murderer, you're a murderer.
you do, Clay.
Yeah, and I really, I always wondered why when we report this stuff, and it got to be a habit with the mainstream media, the fake news, they'd always report the race of the person and only if it was white.
Clay, and the kind of gun.
And pretty
That's what I'm
much,
saying. It's probably not an AR because they just said, "Oh my God, it was an AR-15."
but race means nothing as far as an evil person. There's evil people in every single race on.
If you're a leftist piece of S, that's what you are. If you're a turd pile, that's what you are. It doesn't matter.
If you're a piece of crap, we're going to call you a piece of crap. I don't care what nationality or race you come from or religion. If you're a piece of crap and you're killing people for no reason whatsoever, just murdering them, you are a piece of crap, and you should be part of our happy ending.
I would say even if you come here, and obviously the vast majority of them don't kill people, but if you come here and then you vote against rights like the Second Amendment, which Clay did a big segment on a while back about legal and illegal immigrants coming over, which is why I'll say it again, just in case I don't want people coming here from any country. Anywhere. I don't give a crap if it's what color your skin is from, Russia, Norway, Africa. I don't want you guys here because most of them that come here vote against our Bill of Rights. They don't care about that. Hey, it's great over here. Well, you know what? These people are too conservative. We need to get rid of these people here, and then you get a little. Well, guess what? I don't want none of you guys. You put a 25-year moratorium on any and all immigration. I don't give a damn if you know how to freaking build computers. I don't want you here. We got Americans who can figure that shit out.
And it isn't the first time it's happened in the United States. We did do that at one time.
Yeah, twice.
So it's not a new thing. But that's a whole other discussion.
In World War I, Woodrow Wilson, big, huge leftist. He banned it, and then again it happened. Eisenhower did it. So
was it Eisenhower? Yeah. I mean, there comes a point that we don't need any more people in the country. There really does. And you know what? If you got a certain skill set and we need that here, then you'd be able to come. But yeah,
no, I don't even want that, Clay. No way.
Teach our own people. You're right.
That's what I said.
Hey, I want to touch on this. Dan Brown
go
chimed in. He goes, he hasn't been to Buffalo Wild Wings for over a decade, and he mentions it and their gun policy in his concealed carry weapons classes all the time. Glad to hear that. That's perfect.
Appreciate that, Dan. That's awesome, buddy. Thank you for doing that. That's great. Well, people need to know that. Then you can make your own decision up, right, Clay?
That's right.
If you want to do it, that's fine. But hey, I just want people to know. I'm not, I encourage you not to support stuff like that. But if you do, and you're still a gun owner, and you go there, well, at least you know what they're all about.
David chimed in. He said Fargo has an ordinance against home-based FFLs. Did not know that.
Yeah,
I know that you were facing some issues there, David, with your FFL. I did not know Fargo. It doesn't surprise me though.
I actually got a
Read Brian's
message.
comment. He says, "Yeah, fecal matter comes in all colors."
Yeah. Hey, man, Brian, right on, buddy. He damn
Yeah.
sure does. And I got a message from somebody on Facebook in Fargo who listens to us. It's a little clip from the Fargo City Commission, and hey, guess what? Somebody sat up and asked, I think this should maybe affect guns and access to them. So
Wow.
I was thinking Friday or Monday, Clay, but man, I might have to wait till I come back, or I'll send it to you. Maybe you and Marty can hit on it because
Me and Marty could sure hash it over. There's no doubt. Marty's good on that too. So.
yeah, Marty knows what it's all about, man. And Marty,
Maybe I'll just take the day off and let Marty have the show.
hey,
Except he can't run the computer stuff, I don't think.
nah, him and I are about the same when it comes to computers.
But yeah, no, I tell you, it was a tragedy what happened out there in Fargo. It had nothing to do with the guns. It had nothing to do with gun laws or access to them. Again, criminals, they get access regardless of the gun laws. I mean, he probably broke how many laws as it was. My guess is he couldn't legally, who knows, he probably couldn't even legally have a gun.
Well, Clay, I think that's one of the reasons they're not saying it too. He probably illegally, got possession of the firearm or it was stolen. If he didn't, then guess what? He bought it legally. Yeah, okay. Well, he did do a background check, didn't he?
And he passed it. Yeah.
We'll see.
You just touched on this. Leon says, how about restrict access to our country? Yeah. And that's what Jamie was just talking about. And I'm with you on this. I don't think we need any immigration for at least 20, 25 years.
Nope.
I really don't.
No. Well, you're
There's plenty of people here.
Clay.
I must be. I'm a right winger. No. According to that other guy, we are.
Well, no, you're right into with Jason Aldean now.
Oh.
According to the leftists.
I don't have no earrings in my ear though.
Yeah, I definitely don't see you as an earring guy. I don't have earrings or tats, so
neither do I. I just never have. So
yeah. All right. So other than that, Clay, Fridays, Monday, I will be on Monday. We're on in the crosshairs with Jay Dillon.
Now, that's getting to be a pretty good little segment every Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that's at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time, 12:30 p.m. Central Time. Right there, kfyrplus.com. You can click right in there. We're on for 30 minutes with Jay. It's man, last couple of weeks, man, we've been killing it on it. It's been pretty awesome. Jay's a great host on it. Jay's digging into some research too, Clay. He asks us some pretty good questions.
Yes, he does.
On there too, doesn't he? It's it's been fun. So tune in that every Monday, and then like I said, Wednesday I won't be on. It's going to be Clay and Marty. Next Friday on Todd, not this Friday, but the one after, I will be on then. I'm going to do it from a vacation destination there. It's going to be, I'm going to be in a liberal state, but where I'm at in that liberal state is pretty conservative. I'll let you guys know where I'm at.
It's just like all the other liberal states.
Yeah.
The city populations are blue, but the rest of the whole state.
Where I'm at, there's going to be a lot of gun. In fact, I'm going to be right next to some guns. Mine's going to be a bunch of them, but the whole county I'm in that area is going to be full of guns and NRA stickers and Trump flags. But I'll let you know. So I'll be on Friday, but this coming Friday, Monday, and then next Friday. But Wednesday, I'm out. It's going to be Clay and Marty. So.
Yeah, looking forward to having Marty fill in for you. I think we can have a great show.
Bet.
Marty's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Marty's
and a Patriot.
It's gonna be great.
Now I gotta tell you, I've been getting some text messages. So I just got them, guys. I just looked at them. Leon says that the guy had handmade grenades. So that's something that Leon was saying. He was going to go to the fair. It was the scuttlebutt on that. Could be. I mean, that was when the fair was going on, I believe. And I got your picture, David. We'll see if we can confirm that, but it's a picture of what the guy had. So we'll have to see if that's the case. So there's some things leaking out.
There. Well, yeah. Hey, man, if he's got that. Oh, he's got the American flag on some of them, too. Well, it doesn't seem like he really agreed with that if that's actually his arsenal.
Yeah. Well, Leon says he had a truckload of mayhem. See, you guys are getting info that we're not getting. Like, I do searches, and of course it's been pretty much shut down on any of the searches I've done, but I don't mean it's not out there. So thanks for sharing that stuff, and we'll compile it. Maybe we'll do a follow-up to this next week.
Yeah. Well, you guys hit it, and like I said, I'm not going to be here next Wednesday.
Marty, I think you sent this to Jamie too. I love that. He's got the Port Antifa BLM. He's holding his flag. Yeah, if you saw that, he texted it to us, Jamie.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, I guess we're at an hour 45. Like Corey always said, go 2 hours. We
Man, it
pretty
went
much
longer
do.
we thought. Yeah.
But we appreciate you. And I noticed the number has held pretty strong tonight as far
Yeah,
as
appreciate
people on
everybody
there,
hanging
so.
in there. You guys are awesome.
Oh, well, let's get Eric in here. So doing some deer scouting right now from my house. There's a 3x4 muley out in the pasture. Good deal. And you've never been
Awesome.
to Eric's house, but when we go prairie dog shooting here, we got to get that put together. We'll probably try to go down there just to maybe shoot at the dogs behind his house, just to show you some
Yeah.
different country too. So
I was talking about that. Just a little heads up. The next week's poll question, which I'll probably throw up there tomorrow, is going to pertain to what you're hunting. What's your choice of hunting? What's your favorite thing? So
Dan says all that info was provided by Wrigley and his presser. There we go.
really,
So
okay.
that's good to hear. I said I didn't hear it. I'm going to go watch it here tonight. I'd like to see what he had to say. So yeah, I'm glad that the info's coming out. Then great.
Yeah, good. I hope everything comes out about it. So
And we'll definitely be talking about it. We just didn't have a lot of information. So
yep. We might have to alter something on Todd's show, but we'll see what happens when it comes up. So.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate everybody following us again on another Wednesday, and it's going to get hot this weekend. So if you're able to get out there and hit the lake or the river,
Oh
do
yeah.
it. I know we're planning to take the boat out, hit a little water. I haven't done it all summer, so I'm looking forward to it. Everything's going well. We're seeing some deer. Jamie said he's seeing some deer,
Yep.
so things are looking up for fall. I can tell you these cool mornings and these cool days, I was already kind of getting itchy for hunting season.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. I'll be ready.
I'm gonna try some doves this year. I
I'm
haven't
gonna
been
pour
dove
back a
hunting
lot of carbonated beverages here this weekend in the sun, though, and next week when I'm on vacation. So
I'm gonna get you a jug of Alabama spirits. I am. I'm gonna have them bring you up
absolutely.
some. So
I like Alabama. That's a red state, man.
that's
Come
right.
on with it.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, with that, then we're gonna sign off for tonight. Thanks again to our sponsors, Laura Auto Repair and the Blind Guy of North Dakota. Keep doing business with them. Keep telling them you heard it right here on Guns in the 701. Don't forget to tune in on Friday, 7:40 Mountain, 8:40 Central, KFYR 5:50 a.m. And of course, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. Mountain, 12:30 p.m. Central Time, within the crosshairs with Jay Dillon on KFYR Plus Television. So, with that, we're going to sign off. Have a great weekend, everybody. And don't forget, keep your powder dry. See you guys next week.
See you guys.